Beverly Hills is back, and we are so excited to be recapping this. I have to say, this season started off explosive. It feels like most of the people are like, I'm coming in strong and I'm going to talk about it early. Like
Specifically Dorit. Dorit,
Dorit,
she got to work, y'all.
she needs the money. She's like, I'm about to be a single woman, and you better believe I'm going to keep this lifestyle
I'm
going.
gonna receive my episodic rate. Side note, you guys, I do want to tell you that for housewives, they do get paid for every episode that they're in. So even if it's a FaceTime call, that still counts. And Dorit said, I'm going to be in every single episode this season.
Every single episode, every single scene, basically. She was
Yes,
like,
and
I'm
it's
not going to miss a moment. Although we do kick off the season not with, well, we kind of get a glimpse of everybody, but really the first scene where everyone is, like not everyone, but where we're getting people sitting down is the introduction of Jennifer Tilly, who we know is Sutton's friend. I'm kind of here for this. I think she's going to be very entertaining. She's hilarious. She's very much herself. She's eccentric. I think it's going to be good to see a fun, silly side of Sutton. We sometimes will get that, but I also think she can be very confrontational, very aware of too aware of her quote reputation, like the whole magic mic, all the things. So I'm here for it. I love that Sutton was like, I really miss Kyle because I'd be shopping online and there'd be things I want to send her. And so I just had to reconcile that so we could start sending each other online shopping stuff again.
very relatable. Also, Jennifer Tilly is 66. Homegirl looks amazing. Shout out to all the things that you're doing. Also, I believe, and I'm trying to determine. Oh, okay. So Jennifer Tilly is like hella rich. Did you know
Oh
this?
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm pulling up her Wikipedia right now, but her
She's been
husband,
she's also been in a lot of stuff. Like
yes,
she hustled back in the day.
she did. So she was married to the developer and producer of The Simpsons. And as of 2018, she receives 30% of the net proceeds from his estate, of what he receives from the show. So Homegirl is rich. She's the queen of Chucky, as you all know. So I just think there's a lot to unpack there. I think it's going to be really interesting. I've seen a lot of press with Beverly Hills recently, and it sounds to me that she's really nervous about fan reception. I think she's definitely going to be a fish out of water. She's used to being an actress, letting it sit versus reality TV. So I think that perspective is going to be interesting, but I am here for her as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then we got Dorit. She is just going to hit this rumor head on. She meets up with Erica, she's redoing her house because she's out with the old. She's ready to say goodbye to her marriage to Tom, and she's starting anew. And honestly, good for her. I feel like we do have a whole new Erica. She needs to get rid of all of the shit from that house.
Also, love that she wouldn't sit on the white furniture because being on camera, not
Well,
even spray tan legged, makeup on her legs.
Have you seen? I think it was like maybe 4 seasons ago. It went like viral. It was a TikTok of the couch from like reunions, in particular OC. It was like the legs. It was not just, to your point, spray tan. It's like the makeup, the bronzing oil, like the glitter. Like they put so much shit on their legs to look good.
Yes.
While she's doing that just for filming, though, like I could see that for a reunion, especially if like a slit and a dress where it's going to really show it. But on the daily,
I guess for filming, she's just, I don't know. It's Erica.
It's Erica. She's
out
got
of everyone,
glam.
It doesn't shock me too much. She's like, we're going to make sure my legs aren't super, super white. I'm wearing like my ass is about to fall out. So yes, whatever. But the delivery that Dorit shared.
She's like, I've got news. I've got good news and bad news. And Erica's like, well, give me the bad. And so she's like, PK and I have decided we're separating.
And Erica delivered it like she did. Like she was like kind of smiling.
She's like, we're going to separate. And then Erica going, I think I'm going to cry. I'm like, Erica, I'm glad Dorit said it in her confessional. Like it is not lost on her, the irony that like Erica essentially called this. And you were at that Watch What Happens
Live. That Watch What Happens Live. I was at BravoCon. This was the BravoCon in New York. So this
2022.
Thank you. 2022. It was shocking. None of us, because that wasn't on our radar as fans, PK and Dorit, Trouble in Paradise. So when Andy asked who's going to be the next to split, and she said PK and Dorit, and we all go, whoa! Like, it was insane. And she knew.
She was right.
She was right.
Yeah. So, she's sharing a little bit more about it. There had been, obviously some rumblings. There were things that were happening. His DUI was a little, suspicious. And then, just like what we saw last season, her trying to recover from the break-in and PK not necessarily like agreeing that she really had PTSD. And even like that scene where he tried to recreate Pretty Woman, there's just a lot of things where you're like, they are not in tune. Honestly, I mean, I know this happened a while ago, so we've already covered it. I will say I was surprised when it actually came out that they had made a statement saying they were separating. And
like Garcelle, like cracked up because it's long and winded, just like Dorit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a bit surprised. I think there was enough rumors. But yes, it was definitely shocking at the time. I think it was I feel like when that came out, and I can't go back in time, and I don't even know I'm going to say this, but I feel like there was like a lot of news happening, in the Bravo world.
It wasn't quite April 15th, the day where we had every single thing happen. Like we had people quit, people were quitting or fired, divorce, like splitting. It was like nonstop. But yes, it was like around a time where I think a lot was going on.
Where there was a lot going on. I will say one thing, and thank you for reminding me of the DUI that PK had, but his sobriety makes much more sense now to me. He's been open on his Instagram. I've been, so many days sober. He's looks a bit thinner, just a little bit different. And hearing that he was turning to alcohol and numbing himself, and they get into altercations, and she was like, you got to get off the wagon. And then he got clear and was like, I'm out, which I don't know how I'd feel in a way, but she seems to have a decent mindset about it.
Yeah. I mean, I have to wonder if maybe like, obviously they're having some issues, but I wonder if, I don't want to say like she wasn't fully in love, but maybe she was like, I don't know. She seems to kind of be somewhat okay with it, even though she said that she didn't think it ultimately was going to lead to separation. But with PK, everything is black and white. It was really interesting, though, not to jump ahead too much, but, she is talking to Kathy about this, not Kyle, which is very interesting. But, Mo and PK meet up. Yes. And
get that catch. Get that
check. I actually kind of liked it because I do like they really did have a friendship. And now that they're kind of in a similar situation, I appreciate it because I feel, well, I'm hoping that maybe Mo and or Kyle will start talking a little bit more about their separation, which we didn't get this episode. But it was interesting, PK kind of saying things like, Dorit isn't a great listener and like we just weren't getting anywhere and I didn't want to keep living like this. And then Dorit talking to Kathy, she's like, I would ask him about his issues. And Kathy's like, but did you listen? She's like, I'm a great listener. Like, anyone who says they're a great listener is not. I actually like feel like that's one of those things that like, yeah, it's like, no, if you think you're a great listener, you might be like, I don't know. I mean, people say I'm a good listener. I know people come to me for advice, but like, I don't, I
do have issue with Dorit just kind of telling everyone around town saying he's an alcoholic. That just feels really yucky to me. I feel like sobriety is such a personal journey, and that's something he should share himself. You could say he didn't have the best relationship with alcohol. He's sober, but I think going around and telling everyone he's an alcoholic and not letting him speak for himself didn't sit well with me personally.
I had that exact same like response that like you are dropping a bomb and a label that he has not put out there himself. Like I felt the same. And I'm like, also the fact that they're like, we're not telling the kids, you guys, come on. You have a 10-year-old. Do you think that 10-year-old, and you live in Beverly Hills, you don't think those parents at that private school are talking about your guys' separation that they're seeing on Instagram, that they're seeing all over, and that like the kids aren't going to likely hear that? How weird would it be for, I think Jagger is their oldest, for him to be like at school and then someone be like, I heard your parents are splitting. Like,
yeah,
I mean, maybe this is during summer break and they've created
They
a
waited like
but
some time, like when, Dorit said, "Don't
yeah,
tell Kyle," and then before the statement, maybe they shared it. But yes, no, absolutely.
it just I don't
Kids
know.
are so much smarter. Sometimes I think in these shows, we talked about it with Mia and Gordon. It's like they are smart. They are aware. Give them that credit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, don't
so
treat
that's another
I
case in
also
point.
loved I mean, not only do you have, like, the contrast of, like, PK with Mo being like, "She's not a great listener," and, but then you also have Dorit smoking a cigarette on her way to Kathy's as she walks into Kathy, who is getting an IV drip, her hair, makeup, and, like, she has, like, a face mask or, like, a lip mask, and she's, like, drinking what I'm guessing is some sort of, like, protein health shake. It just Kathy is having, like, every self-care procedure done
Every
all
day
at one time.
of her life, probably.
Yeah. So we got a few DMs about this, and I wanna kind of address this because a lot of people are like, "Why are we glamorizing or making smoking cool again? Haven't we all agreed that this is a bad thing?" I don't think it's like, "Oh, yeah, now smoking is so cool."
Oh, no.
I think it's because we, for the past couple of seasons, have seen a very curated, tailored, perfect Dorit, and this season, it feels like she's like, "You know what? Take off the filters, take off the mask, like, I'm
Take
gonna
out the
be
blonde hair.
the blonde hair." Even her, like, accent isn't, like, as, like, f in flux as it has been. Maybe she's just gotten really good at talking like that, but I'm like, I think we're seeing more of the real Dorit, and I think that's the part that we liked. I don't think it's great that she smokes, but if she's a smoker and she's been secretly not smoking on camera, and she's gonna have a bad day and smoke a cig in her car, you know what? Be yourself. Like,
Be
we're
yourself.
here
I
for
think
it.
to me, it's like just iconic, just because very rarely we don't always see a lot of housewives. It takes you back to the Kim Zolciak lighting it up with the
I
glass of
love
like
it.
Chardonnay. It's just like funny. It's like very campy and just funny for us as a fandom. We don't condone smoking. She should quit, obviously. But if you are going to smoke, show us. I
I
mean,
mean, yeah.
just show us,
Well, so
Dorit.
Andy, when she was on Watch What Happens Live, it was interesting. He said, "This is our first time seeing you smoke on camera." That led me to believe that she maybe not like all the time, maybe she's a social smoker, maybe she smokes in stressful situations and he's seen her do that, but it's like, okay, like we're seeing more of the real Dorit, and we see it with Kyle later on. I was just like, I think that's the part that the fandom kind of really resonated with. It's like, oh, we are getting a real and like raw Dorit, and I'm here for it. I
She's
wish
like,
her buddy Kyle would take a page out of her book because I mean, Kyle is saying more without saying a lot, but she's also just not saying enough. Like she talks about Mo moving out and how hard it is, and that like he pretty much always took care of everything, and she doesn't know how to turn on the TV, and she's like,
which I think is probably very relatable.
yeah. I mean, also like I know what gutters do. I know it's like to collect like the rain so it like runs down and like pushes it away from your house. I mean, I know she can hire somebody. I would have to like outsource all that stuff, but I don't
Oh,
know the
same.
frequency in which I'm supposed to be doing some of the like there are certain things that like in a partnership somebody takes care of. If my husband moved out, I'd be like, "Oh shit, like I got to figure
Yeah.
out how to do this stuff." I just wish she would talk about the truth a little bit more. It's like the fact that they're 1 year separated and like what is she feeling? And even then when she sits down with Erica and Garcelle at Sutton's party, which props Sutton for such a unique theme. Like I'm not as cultured as some of these women. I would have been the same as Kyle, like, oh, like Dolly Parton. I could dress like Dolly, Dolly. And she's like, oh, you mean not spelled Dolly. It was an interesting theme though. Like it's not like it's been done on every other
No,
housewife show.
I will give her credit for that, but it's a theme where I feel like people had to Google so many times and still didn't get at, like
It kind of
they
reminded
were
me of
dissing Dorit's outfit and saying that's modernism, that's not surrealism. And it's like, whatever,
but
she's
but
got,
twigs and like antlers on your head is surreal.
I
Like I don't
guess. It's like, is
it's all
she human or is she like
Yeah, I don't to
a
me, it
deer?
reminded me of every Met Gala theme that they've ever done because I feel like the way people interpret it more often than not, you're like, "Wait, what?" Like
Yes.
that's not really how the theme was intended, so it did kind of make me laugh,
I
but,
guess that's the beauty of
a theme.
art and
And
fashion is
yes,
subjective and every
it's
person can have a
all
different
expression. Mhm.
interpretation. So
Yeah.
she.
maybe to her, to read, wearing plastic is surreal because she wears authentic fabrics. I don't know. Um, but I don't know. I made that
That
one
was
up.
a stretch. I
Yeah.
liked it though.
But so Kyle, sits down with Erica and Garcelle and is trying to share a little bit more with them. But it also, again, felt like, what are you trying to say here, Kyle? Like, it was
Yeah.
like, I get, and I agree with Garcelle. She does not have to define her sexuality. I don't think she knows yet. But she didn't even say, like, I am finding myself attracted to women, or this is a little bit more than a friendship. We don't have a label on it. We're figuring it out. Like, we all know there's more going on with her and Morgan. And now she like won't say Morgan's name, but then she's crying, talking about like sharing it with her daughters, which, I think was like a very, probably like a little bit more of a real moment. But I feel like maybe for Kyle, it's like, does she have maybe not shame, but like maybe she feels like she's struggling with this, and I think it's okay, but maybe just like verbalize, like, I don't know what I am right now. I'm struggling. I'm obviously going through a little bit of an identity crisis.
Yeah.
I just, it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, I feel like Kyle, like you're going to have to either not talk about it at all or open up more.
Well, and also, she mentions the media and everything. Yes, there is a part of that, but also like you guys were together everywhere, and
You're getting
some of the
tattoos.
places I don't know that you would be papped at. Let's be real, I love Kyle, but some of the shots, I don't
Yeah.
know that the paparazzi would have been like readily available. So,
Well, and
she's
to
taking
Garcelle's point, why did you do that video then?
yes. And I do think she's trying to take a page out of her friend Kris Jenner's book. It's all about the timing. And I would imagine any person, like if I were on reality TV, as long as she was, you'd want to control your own story as much as you can. So I understand that aspect, but you're absolutely right, Abby, that I feel like she didn't give us a lot. And it's almost like, why did you even bother saying anything at all? It's like immediate like word salad, like, hi, Garcelle, I haven't seen you in a minute, but blah, 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 I feel safe with you. And it's like, what? Okay. All right. I'm
Yeah.
going to
And
go leave you here with Dorit and I'm going to go take a shot now. But
well,
yeah.
and that was, I think, what made it even weirder is like Dorit's like hanging in the shadows, like, a scene without me, here I come. And it's like read the room. Like she like barged in there, was like, why, hello. And it was like literally Garcelle and Kyle are holding hands. And like
Yes.
clearly it's an emotional moment. And like Dorit just barges in there.
Lurking in the shadows, ready.
It was, and I feel like too, they're like, well, we're gonna go eat. But before we discuss kind of a little bit more, I forgot to talk about, I think, a great addition. I'm early on obsessed with Boz. Like she
Not
walked
boss.
in, not, I know, I was like, Kathy, you messed up and you're just trying to be cool, but like just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I mispronounced. But when they were like, well, the way Sutton was like introducing her, she's like, well, she's been the CMO of Netflix. I'd forgot, now I'm forgetting, but like okay, girl, she has a resume that is impressive. She has done the damn thing. And then she starts talking to Dorit, which I oddly was like, I kind of like this pair. I feel like let's have these two little single gals out there, like helping each other out. But she talked more about being a widow, like
Yes.
separated pride. Like her story is so interesting. I don't know. As
And like
someone who,
right off the bat, it felt like very authentic, like two people who have a connection and just you could tell someone who's very comfortable with themselves when they're able to open up and
yeah.
just share something very personal that way
And I
right
feel
off
like,
the bat.
yeah, I think I relate to it. Although I keep seeing this all over like the internet. I'm like, oh, do I have ADHD or do I just have no filter? Just like, I think you get to a certain age where you're just kind of like, take me or leave me. This is who I am. And I don't filter stuff as much as I would have in my
Same.
20s.
Yeah,
And so
same.
I think I would be like a Boz, be like, I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but I'm just going to keep telling you it. And we're in it now. So let me tell you more about when I
Let's
then,
hold hands and just,
yeah, I'm a
hold.
widow. Yeah. And I think Dorit was like, yes, okay. Like, I'm going to tell you more than I should too. And it was like, I don't know, for me, it was a very relatable moment. And as somebody, I think you and I are like ambitious people. I'm also very competitive. I really respect Boz because you look at, she's like said, she worked in corporate America for 25 years. Obviously she's done a really good job that she's, retired at 49. But you think about 25 years ago, a Black woman trying to become a C-level executive and like having that drive, the amount of people that would have put like roadblocks, like hurdles in her way. This is somebody who has a lot of drive, but like she has fought the fight to get to where she is.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
I
would
look forward
love,
to learning
yeah,
more about her story and just,
yeah.
all about it. I'm great casting. I think she's going to be fantastic. Excited to see how she interacts with the women. Her sound bites were funny. Just watching like Kathy Hilton make an appearance, mispronounce her name, try to buy boss, and she goes, "No, you're the boss." And she's like, "Okay,
I'll take it.
okay, Kathy." And then seeing her take out her extensions and was just like, "What in the rich people shit is happening right here?" That she is ripping out her hair
Like
extensions.
and just setting it down as if it's totally normal.
She's a whole level of delusion that it's like she's in her, kind of alien-esque. I'm gonna put her with my aliens of, Mary
Yeah.
Cosby. Who else is my aliens?
Oh
But
yeah. That's
I
Kathy for
will put
sure.
her in there a little bit.
The other thing with Boz too, if you go to her Instagram, I really love it when a housewife is like, no, I was excited to be a housewife. I wanted this role instead of like, they had to convince me to do it. I've never seen the show. It's like, okay, if you're joining the show at this point, you've heard of it, you've seen it, you're interested in doing it.
Yeah.
She shared that she was like, I really felt like I was just hanging out with everyone until the moment where they had me hold the diamond. And like she was sharing the clip where she's doing her photo shoot and they hand her the diamond to hold it. And I like, as a fan, you're like, thank you for respecting this.
Respecting the diamond.
Yes. Like if I got to hold the real diamond and do a photo shoot, I would have a sense of like, oh my God. Like it was just nice to see a housewife be real and be excited to be in that moment.
Yeah, and just
And
like lean into it and kind of
yeah.
embracing this platform that she now has. So I'm excited to see her.
What what did you think of the artist that Sutton picked to perform what was it like something
Pussy,
pussy?
something pussy, a lot of
A lot of
something
pussy.
pussy.
Yeah.
Um, unique,
Surreal. So maybe a little surreal. I don't know.
unique.
I
I'm gonna
loved
say
EJ was
unique.
like, "Yeah, I like this girl." Like everyone else was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
No, it was unique. It was a bit out there and odd, but I guess at a surrealism party where there was an alpaca and like all, a
Butterflies.
monkey, like I guess you would
Oh,
only
and the what are those water dancers? What are they
oh,
called?
synchronized swimmers?
Yeah, synchronized swimmers. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, you had a me moment right there.
There was just one of them. So I'm like, are they synchronized if there's just one?
Yeah, it was so, I guess if she had like a Michael Bublé-esque performance, he'd be like, this
Yeah.
feels too normal. It was weird. It was weird.
But I love too the clip of Erica being like, "Look, does she drive me crazy? Yeah, but she throws some good parties." I was like, "You know what, Erica? Good for you." Be like, I'm here for a party and I can be your best friend. And
Yes.
I just watching Erica like truly love the performance. I was like, and of course it makes sense. The person doing like pat the
I
puss is
mean, it
gonna
was like
love.
yes, it was like an homage. She probably thought she was inspired by me. Like, let's be real.
Like
I was like, yes, girl.
Erica's like, I walk so this person could run.
Yes,
Here we go.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and Kathy, like, getting into it, and then, I wish we had more faces of people, like, almost like an office type looks where you have certain people, like, into it, and everyone else looking like, "What the fuck is going on?" But I would imagine at a lot of these parties in LA that happens a lot, these types of performances, so maybe
I love
people have a better poker face than what I would have.
Oh, I have no poker face anymore. I would have loved like watching Kathy dance to that in person because it also didn't really seem like a song that was very easy to dance to the way the beat like it wasn't like very quick. It was an interesting song. And I appreciated everyone giving their best effort dancing to it. And it was a funny little light moment before Kyle says to Dorit, can we go talk? And Dorit's like, oh, we can talk, but you better be ready. It was kind of like a grand dame moment, like you go low and I'm gonna serve. And
Basically, yeah. But in all fairness, before we talk about their conversation, the fact that Dorit like aired out all those texts, you can't forget, like that is such a boundary line cross. Of course, she's gonna shut you out.
it was
But then,
really
the
yeah.
Amazon lives, like I love that we're bringing Amazon lives into this, like the fact that she like, but then Kyle acted like their friendship wasn't much. But go on, Abby.
No, I agree. I think yeah, we gotta put it all out there before we dive into
Little
this.
context.
There's context to it. Yeah. Kyle feels betrayed. because of the text being, put out there, and not only like shared like with Erica, but the full text was then, Dorit had to give authorization for that to be like pulled out for production to put that on there. Yeah. And then there was Kyle's, Amazon Live. So they sit down and Kyle's like, I'm really sorry for what you're going through. I would have reached out, and then Dorit's like, no, if we're going to have this talk, you need to be real and we're going to be honest. And it was like so intense. And like, Kyle's like, who are you right now? I do think she came in a little too hot. It was like
she was
hey.
ready to be, she was ready for the fight. Like they
Yeah.
put on the robe. She was lurking in the shadows. She
Yeah.
said,
I'm done with the bullshit. And it's like, oh my God. Like, but I'm kind of here for it. I'm like, you know what, Dorit? I love Kyle, but she has gotten away with like dancing around things and not really addressing it head on for quite some time. And Dorit's like, look, if I'm going to talk about my split, I'm going to be real honest about it. And I'm going to make you have to be real honest too. And I think we're all like wanting to know a little bit more about what is really going on in Kyle's world.
Yeah. No, I'm awake.
Like,
that was episode 1, like a hell of a premiere. I'm so excited. We're going to be heading to Miami where we're going to have, I think it's Garcelle and Kyle.
Yes, those are the only two.
The
and
only two from
originally there was
Miami.
no West Coast people at
Yes.
all. So this was sort of like, and later they added on some more West Coast people. So it's interesting though, because Kyle is doing, she had to do obviously the Us Weekly party. She was on the cover as the reality star of the year. But the fact that she's doing the Bravo Fan Fest, Dorit is not, but Dorit was on Watch What Happens Live. Interestingly though, with Lala, and Dorit was not first chair next to Andy. And that is kind of, I don't want to say.
It's always like a thing that they fight over. And I don't know, maybe she was just like, you just had a baby. You have it, girl. I don't know.
Also Lala, like truly like the best genes in the world. I have I hate saying bounce back, but I truly have never seen a body bounce back from labor like hers.
I want her boobs. I miss my postpartum boobs.
Well,
I don't miss like the milk part just because I've always been small chested. So I don't know.
I missed like when they had like more, fullness. Cause now after 3 kids, it's sad. Like they're sad. Yeah. But I am doing.
We're not sad about the premiere.
Yes, we're not sad about the premiere. And I won't be sad about them because one day I am going to get a mommy makeover when I don't have a kid to lift anymore. So I'll share that journey with everyone. But we are going to Miami. We are so excited. We will be sharing everything. We have 3 fun episodes that we'll be putting out next week covering Miami, including we will be going to the Watch What Happens Live with the Miami cast. We're going to Giggly Squad's live show. And then we will obviously do an episode devoted completely to FanFest.
And we will not be covering the 3rd part of the OC reunion because of travel and our plans. It just didn't work out. So maybe we'll share notes on social media, but I always feel like by the time you get to part 3, you're kind of ready for it to be done. But all in all, great OC season. I still
yes, you can't. Yes, amazing OC season. I'm sure, and I am obviously going to watch part 3. I'm really curious because, like I said, I've been talking about it the whole time since the reunion was going on. It seemed like the vibe was like it ended happy. So curious on how we got to that point. But before we get to Miami, we would love if you guys could leave us a written review. It really means the most to us. If you haven't done so already, a lot of you are. Thank you for DMing us and be like, I left a review. You can honestly just hit 5 stars. That counts as a review. If you leave us a written one, it just helps a little bit more. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to DM us, email us. We are always open to a conversation and really have enjoyed having more of a conversation on some of the things we talk about on this podcast with each and every one of you. So with that, make it a great day or don't. The choice is yours.
Hey guys, we've got some steals and deals for you. The holidays are coming up and gifting is always a challenge. And we've got a couple ideas for you guys to check things off your list. I'm going to start with the Olivia Rose Satin Sleep Set and 2-pack towel turban. The Olivia Rose set includes matching satin eye mask, satin pillowcase, and 2 towel turbans. Got them right here. And it also will add relaxing, luxurious feel to your night. The towel turban is a perfect option for hands-free hair drying. Also works to minimize frizz and hair damage. And you will not believe the price. You can get both of these items for $24.99. It retails for $79.99, but you can get this for $24.99. Would make such a great gift for a teen, all the women in your life, truly. I'm obsessed with these towels in particularly. So you guys want to check these out and get these deals, you need to go to aduroproducts.com/collections/realmoms.
And we've got another fun steal and deal for you. This is the Power Up Glow portable bank and compact mirror. So it lights up. So if you're traveling, and you're trying to do your makeup, hotel lighting is always terrible. My favorite part about it is not only can you use it as a mirror, but there are built-in cords to charge all of your devices. So when you're traveling on the go, you don't need to pack a million different things to charge your phone, charge your tablet. Also, then, you've got your mirror. It all is in one. This would be a great gift for a college student, for a teacher, mother-in-law, friend, anybody. And best part of all, with our special link, it's only $14.99. So this could also be a great stocking stuffer. You can go to aduroproducts.com/collections/realmoms to get these deals. Again, that's aduroproducts.com/collections/real moms.